first time in one of my videos, which is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
I can't believe that, seeing as I've been in every one of their videos. In
takes a piss, really.
What do you think?
It's
It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
He's done a good job on it.
Yeah.
Getting there.
What I noticed about it straight away is that the size hasn't been impacted, even though the size has been impacted. But like aesthetically, visually, it seems bigger. Probably because it's still quite white and stuff, it might be. But no, you've done a lot. It's a blank canvas, so I'm really happy about it. Very, very, very much so.
And your bed is huge.
Love it, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed in your video you said, oh, it's 7 foot wide, 7 foot wide. You said it loads of times, and I was like,
no! I was getting very excited.
It's 7 foot wide. Well,
before all of the cladding and
so
before
it's really, that's more or less 6 foot, really, isn't it?
Yeah. You are 6 foot wide.
You said it's 6.3 though, right?
Well, I'm gonna have to stop the video here. So we've got a slight change of plan. The bed is big enough, but just not enough. No, you know what I'm saying? The bed is 6'3", just shy of 6'3", and Liam is 6'2". He wants a bigger bed, and that was the whole point of getting a new van. So I'm going to chop all this out. Let's start again, and put 25mm insulation in there. And then same on this side, I'll chop that out, put 25mm insulation in there, and that will give us an extra 50mm, which is a big difference. And again, you know, being living in a van full time, I understand how important a comfortable bed is. It's the most uncomfortable thing. It's the most important thing having a comfortable bed, is what I'm saying. But you know that. Let me just adjust this a bit. Somebody's been messing. Janine's been messing with my camera. There you go, you can see a lot more now. Supports for the bed on this side, which is also shows you where the cupboard space is going to be, and then the walkthrough to get through to there. Thanks to Liam and Janine for helping me with this bit, but I'm not going to go any further up today because I'm going to rip all this out tomorrow. I need to do it right. It is a hiccup, and I am going backwards a little bit, but it needs to be done. Good morning, it is day 7. Day 7. Day 7. Right, what we have done is As you can see back there, the whole thing is now clad all the way across. It's got a nice curve that comes up at the back there, and then it's not quite finished obviously, but we've now stepped back here and saved, tape measure, see how much we've saved. Yeah, so 3.5 centimeters, or in English, like 1¼ inches maybe, on both sides. So now that makes the bed 6'5" by 5 foot, which is perfect. Couldn't ask for more than that. It means that a full king size mattress will just slot in here and all be proper good. I spoke to Liam and Janine this morning. I'm going to put their Max Air fan in the middle now rather than to one side, and then their Sky Max in the middle at that side. Just waiting for those to arrive. Hopefully they'll arrive soon. Got to run some cabling. A lot of people in the comments, some people in the comments have been quite nasty actually, saying that I don't know what I'm doing because I've not run any cables. I do know what I'm doing. The reason why I've not run cables yet is because I'm not running cables behind cladding. The reason why I'm not running cables or plumbing behind cladding is if there's a problem with the cables or the plumbing, you have to take all the cladding down to get to it. So we ain't doing that. Everything's going to be external but still hidden. Continue watching and next week or a week after you'll understand what I'm talking about. But don't worry, have faith. I've done this before. So there are a couple of other jobs I need to do today. One of those jobs is fit the solar cable gland. Now that goes up in the ceiling, sits on there, and the cables run through there, down into the van, and that stops rain coming in on any leaks, any moisture coming in. I'm going to run the solar cables down behind here, and they're the only thing coming in from the outside. So for the Max Air fan, which has got lights in it and needs power for the fan, the Sky Max has lights in it also, and then there are the ceiling lights. The way that it's going to be done is that the wiring is going to run along these channels here to the edge and then down along this gap to here. Now what that means is, from a practicality point of view, is that if any of it breaks or needs replacing, we can easily get to that in a year's time or whatever. We can get to those wires. But also it means that if later down the line Janine and Liam want to screw anything to the walls or put some picture hooks up or some hooks to hang their stuff on, there's no cabling behind this cladding. There's nothing there. So within reason, they can more or less screw anything to this now because there's nothing behind it to cause any damage. They're not going to screw into any plumbing pipes, any gas pipes, any electrical cables. So that is why I do it this way. Now other people do it this way, but some people don't. We can now screw anything to it. And also when Rick comes to put the cupboards up and the kitchen in, he can screw to that and not have to worry that there's cabling behind it. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. This foil here is pretty much the external of the van. So there's going to be it's going to be cold in comparison to the rest of the van. So that's what this is for here. So it's going to have another 50mm of insulation underneath the bed. Then it's going to have another layer of the silver foil, and then it's going to have plywood on top of that so that you can't see any of that insulation. So this van is going to be like a fridge van. It's going to be so insulated. It's going to be amazing. Right, so the cabling for the reading lights is now in, and it's up there. You can see there's two cables coming out there. There's going to be two little reading lights there that are also going to have USB ports in them for them to charge their phones while they're in bed in the evening. So they'll have something on the wall to mount their phones and all that eventually, but I'll let them decide on what that's going to be. I'm about to go run the cabling now for the solar panels. You can kind of see even more now how transparent this ceiling is, because you can see the red tape that I've just put on there and the reel of cable there. So much light comes through. It's just a shame that we've got to get rid of it, but in winter, so much heat is going to escape out of there, it's unreal. So, and plus, you don't want to be woken up at 6 in the morning by the sun, do you? You want to be able to lie until 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Right, so solar cables are in and routed down here, and they go along there, and they come down here. All the wiring is coming down to here because that is where the battery power station is going to be. So we've got solar cables and then the 2 cables for the reading lights, which are up there. Now that, for now, is it for wiring going behind cladding. But the way I've done it, as I've said before, is that the cabling is all coming down here. So I can just simply say to the customer, don't screw anything here. But you can screw stuff everywhere else because there's no cabling anywhere else. Next job is sound deadening up here. Right, so sound deadening is this stuff here. This stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half because we don't need to use big sheets like this. And then these will be stuck to the ceiling like this. And then I will use this roller here to roll that on to make sure it's stuck down solid. Now that will offer sound deadening, so when it's raining on the roof it won't be as like, it will be a bit more dense, a bit more of a dense sound. I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration. So as you can see, sound deadening, sound deadening, sound deadening, but this panel is not sound deadening. Now listen to this. Bear in mind there is some sound deadening coming from, you know, this is deadening a little bit, but, and then this one, big difference. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm losing light now, and the next stage is sealing off the hatch there. Made some metal sheets that fit there in that space where this is where the old window was, and I've made one for the other side, if you can see. So now the seal fits all the way around there like so, all the way around the bottom. So now I'm just going to seal it from that side. That is now sealed up. It's good to go. It looks a bit rough around the edges at the minute, but that's because it's got lots of sealant on it. Main thing is that's sealed and done. I'm happy with that. That's end of day 3 of week 2, end of day 7. 7 days. It's the last day of week 2, day 8. Look where I am. You can kind of see there, well you can see the foam dripping down, but that will dry shortly. Just peel it all off. But the insulation is coming along well. As soon as I put the last 3 pieces on, I'm going to have to have the back doors open to let light in while I can work. I'm going to put the first few rows of cladding on, even though I know that I've got to cut out for a skylight here and a skylight there. I'm going to do it all because the skylights just haven't turned up yet, which I don't know why. So we're going to insulate and clad it all. When I put the cladding on, I want to put one piece down the middle. So I'll measure the middle, put one piece down the middle. I don't have to guess then. I can do it all looks neat, and then we put the skylight in afterwards. It'll make it easier. So it's kind of a bit of a backwards way of doing it, and I understand why some people will think, hey, do it that way. That's why I'm doing it that way. Ceiling is all but insulated, apart from this bit here, which I know the SkyMax is going there, so at least going to let some light in for now. But the next stage is put the Reflectix on, same as I did on the walls. Just been waiting for some of this expanding foam to set. But there we go, once I put the Reflectix on, I'm going to start putting the first piece of the cladding on.
Lights that make you look good, coated with that pastel, wanna disappear, so we riding with the planes. I love you, ain't
The vapor barrier is now up. I've just put the central piece of cladding in. It's going to be my centerpiece now, and I'll work from the middle out to each side, and hopefully I'll have got it roughly dead central. Just need to put the next couple of pieces on, and then we'll work from there. As you can see, we've got 5 widths of cladding in. Now, normally I would put the lights in the 5th ones, as I've kind of marked out here, but I'm going to move them to the, so it's the 3rd ones, so here. So the lights are going to be close together, but the reason for that is that plans are kind of changing a little bit, so I'm unsure where the shower's going to go and what size shower they're having, because that kind of keeps changing. So next week we should have some dead plans, but I can't delay anymore, so the lights are going to run relatively central, so then if the shower does come out, the shower's going to come out to about here, so then the lights are not going to be in the way. Also, they're going to have lights underneath their cupboards and things like that as well, so it ain't going to be too bad. But as far as living room lights go, they're having these sort of puck lights. I'm going to wire them in now. These are cool white. Janina specifically asked for very bright for filming and things like that. They're going to have ambient lights, they've got reading lights in the bedroom and all that kind of stuff, but as far as for filming goes, bloody bright. Let there be light. Light. They've got these reading lights which are going to go up on here, which also have USB chargers in them for the phones, and they'll be directional so they can use them when they're reading or whatever they're doing. Obviously there's going to be a Max Air fan here, and there's going to be the SkyMax there, but the SkyMax also has lights in as well, so they're not as bright lights, but they're still lights, so they're going to have some light over there. I think the layout's changing, but I'll keep you updated on that next week when I find out what the layout is, but it is what it is for now. My last job for this week has been to wire up the reading lights. I've just got them temporarily wired up to my trusty jack array just for testing purposes before we put them to a switch panel. And obviously we've got the ceiling lights done. So that is it for my week. A large percentage of the work has been done this week. I've done insulating the ceiling, cladding the ceiling for the most part, finishing off the walls, finishing off the bed area, insulating the bed, finishing the cut through, and I've done a lot of wiring as well. So that is it. Tune in next week for week 3. And also don't forget to go follow Those Happy Days to find out how their journey started and where it's going to now.